This collection has been curated by students over time who care deeply about this collection and about art, and that each trip strongly represents a period in time in American culture. And I think that's one of the most fascinating things about this, is that from the 60s forward, every trip tells a story about where America was at that point in time and where our students were at that point in time. And now as we get, oh my gosh, 50-something years into this collection, right? You've got this great long story of the history of America told through these wonderful pieces of art.
Students go into this process with one prompt from the leaders of the trip, that is to buy art that is, quote, reflective of the times, whatever that means. And students, really do wrestle with that. Is this, will a future buy-in trip, be thinking about Black Lives Matter or HB2, House Bill 2, and these other sort of very contentious political issues of the time? Will the artworks reflect that? Will they try to make that reflect that? And so I think for them, value is much more trying to have these artworks not only speak to the historical moment or speak to other art objects, but also how do these artworks reflect their experiences?
It's a tall order. It's a very intimidating thing to do for someone to be like, all right, go buy a work of art.
We would kind of go through what we'd experienced during the day, and we would compare notes, and we would sort of argue and debate, and okay, let's strike that one off, and let's keep these three on.
And we would look at the slides that the gallery sent us. We would have meetings. We would discuss various artists, and we would talk about some of the things that we were thinking about purchasing on the trip.
Once we got a list we were happy with, we started contacting galleries, which is kind of intimidating because you explain the trip, you're like, we're 7 students from a school in North Carolina, we'd like to buy a work of art from your gallery, and they don't always believe you. I think I had to call a gallery 3 times before they really took us seriously.
By the end of the trip, these same students, are on the phone in Chelsea, sort of trying to bargain with gallerists about trying to get one more work of art, for the allotted funds, and to sort of see that growth, through the experience of, research and collecting and sort of really thinking deeply about art, that these students have been empowered.
And so you start to realize that you've got this really big responsibility to not screw it up, right? You need to pick really powerful, meaningful work that's going to stand the test of time, and that's a little intimidating.